Ready?
Yep.
Hello and welcome to another episode of So Fly. It is beginning of December. We're back in the studio to record another show for y'all out there in the podcast world. First of all, I want to... Blue, my goodness. Hello, Blue, my God.
That's an awesome beginning there, Blue.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
We're recording at Yilma's
Blue,
house.
you rock.
And his dog Blue is here, and he's running around. He's barking at things. So that's cool. So we're recording at Yilma's house, as I just said. My name is Mitch. We've got Aldo here.
Hey, guys.
I just got louder.
Yeah, you're peaking for sure.
No, it's just in your headphones. My name is Mitch, and we've got Aldo here.
Hey, guys.
We've got Gab,
Hey, everyone.
and we've got Yilma.
Hey, Yelma here.
Nice. Today we're going to be talking about a little trip that Yilma and I didn't go on, that Aldo and
Thank
Gab went on.
God, right?
I can't believe it. We're talking, of course, about a trip they just took to Montana with a new friend, Chloe.
Yeah, Chloe Nostrant. She's a pretty wicked writer, photographer, and she works at the George Anderson's Yellowstone Angler in Livingston, Montana. Gab, Montana.
Montana was insane. I'm still not back. I still don't know why I'm back.
I know. The plains, the mountains, the burgers.
It's pretty rad.
The elk,
Yeah.
the
Well,
nature,
Well,
everything.
we're gonna get into all that stuff, but first we got to talk a little bit about what we're drinking today. What are we drinking?
Oh, Yelma, what are you having? What are you drinking?
I'm actually having a Coors Banquet.
Coors Banquet in a little stubby
A
bottle?
little stubby.
Oh, my God.
I love those stubbies.
So wait, is it stubby or chubby? Because it's both to me. When I look at it,
Stubby and chubby.
I think it's a stubby.
it's
It says it right here, 1936, stubby bottle.
Stubby
Yeah.
bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what Red Stripe.
Coors Golden Banquet beer is delicious. I'm
Sounds
drinking one. Aldo's drinking one. Gab's drinking one.
We're all drinking
man.
one. Rocky Mountains. We were in the Rocky Mountains, sort of. Kind of.
It's super.
Eastern,
Well, this is
Eastern
the-
Slope?
Eastern Slope, Rocky
Yeah.
Mountains.
Yeah, in Montana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Now, what do you want to know, Mitch? What's going through your head? Yilma, what
Ask
do you want to
me
ask us about? You guys weren't
whatever
on the
you
trip.
want.
We wish you were on the trip
Yeah.
Why didn't we go?
because you have jobs.
We
Because
have
you
jobs.
guys suck.
Oh, we're working.
That's why.
Oh my God.
You guys
I'm
have
so mad.
jobs.
You guys went on a, what was it, like a Tuesday to a Sunday type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday to Saturday.
Yeah.
Back in November 6th-ish area, I want to say.
The 6th to the 10th, am I right?
Yeah, beginning of November. Yeah. So we were there. We were there in off season, definitely.
Yes.
And we brought the snow.
Let us know.
Tell you
Let
guys,
us
we brought
know.
the snow.
Mm,
So my closest, the closest I've been to Montana is what's that show called? River Runs Through It.
Well, it's a movie.
It's a movie. Is it like a?
What's that show again?
closest I've ever been to Montana was the movie Seinfeld. It was filmed in New York, which is a few states over, but it's close as I've ever
But what's Montana like?
Good
Is it like? Is it just? It's a fishing hunting town. It's like.
It is a
What's a
fishing
stage?
and hunting state.
Oh my God! Can we?
No, we can't redo that. No,
The
this is
town
too
of
good.
This is
Montana.
amazing.
The town of Montana.
The town
wait,
of
wait,
Montana
wait.
in the state of
All right,
Livingston.
let me tell you. The town of Montana is known for its fly fishing. Can be seen in the TV show River Runs Through It.
Starring Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh my God.
So, the city of Montana. Is it no? But seriously.
Yeah.
So,
Is it
yeah,
a fishing
what-
state? Like, is it like what is the state about? Is it like that is Montana?
What makes Montana
Fishing,
great? Why did you
yeah.
guys decide to go? What's the story?
well, I think like part of it, I mean, like obviously being fly anglers, all of us, we're kind of force fed because, for a large part, because of River Runs Through It, right? That movie was filmed there and kind of sparked a whole generation of new fly anglers, right? Like that movie came out, everybody saw those images of the mountains
Oh,
and the
yeah.
streams and of they were around the Little Blackfoot, which is around Missoula. The movie's set in Missoula.
Movie is set in Missoula, but filmed in Livingston, actually.
Oh, crazy! And that's where
yeah,
we were.
That's where we were.
So Montana is a state, for those of you out there, that actually borders Canada, borders Alberta. So it's on the eastern slope of the Rockies, and yeah, it's a pretty awesome place because there's plains, but there's also mountains. There's wide open spaces, but also dense forests. This is my second time in Montana, but first time to Livingston. Yeah.
Livingston, I presume.
Yeah, the closest I've been was probably like Calgary and Banff, but it wasn't for fishing, so I don't know if it counts. I've seen it with my eyes, but I didn't experience it. So now we were in it.
Tuesday morning or evening, ready to go.
Morning.
What's going through your head?
We flew Tuesday morning.
What's going through your head? You're on the plane. You're flying.
Maybe kind of like a state of disbelief. Like I was like, because it was really fast. Like although it was like, hey, you want to go to Montana? And it was barely like 3 weeks.
Yeah, pretty
previous
much.
the trip. It was like, oh, there's a last minute thing coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So and I was like, yes. But then that morning, like at the airport, you're like, fuck, I'm going to Montana, man. It's sick. Like I've been wanting to go to Montana since I'm a kid. Since I picked up a fly rod and knew about Montana, which, like we said about the movie, like a river runs through it. Like I probably had an idea of what Montana was when I was a kid, and I was like, I want to go there, but I could probably not even point it on a map yet.
Well, like so many, like so many brands that we wear, like Sims. Sims is made in Montana,
Yeah.
and like and fish, and all these,
And the magazine that we read, there's
Yeah.
always a photo. Like I've never seen a fly fishing magazine without a photo in Montana. Like
Yeah.
they always have one.
maybe it's the Yellowstone River, maybe it's the Madison. It's like these storied rivers and places and spaces and people.
So what rivers were you guys on?
The Yellowstone River.
Yellowstone River.
Basically just outside the Yellowstone Park.
Yeah. And it's all public land?
No, it's not all public land, but there is quite a bit of public land.
Yeah.
And then we got to enjoy it.
It's more like public access to private land.
Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of the land, so it's like a lot of what happens in Montana is fly fishing, but a lot of what happens is also ranching. So it's like, so a lot of the land, if it's not owned by the state, if it's not public land, then it's private. And it's usually used for ranching or some sort of farming or some sort of resource mining, something like that.
Right.
So it runs through. So these rivers run through private land, but you have public access points where you can launch boats, walk, wade the river. Yeah, and then there's also private water too, like spring creeks and sections.
And as long as you in Montana, as long as you are in the flood area, so like the darker rocks that you can see, like
the high water mark.
The high water mark. That's the proper way to say it. You're okay. So even if you're on private land, if you're in the high water mark, you're not doing anything wrong. So
Nice.
yeah, it's very nice.
That's cool.
Unlike
Wyoming.
Wyoming,
they own
you
the
can't
bottom.
even anchor because you own the bottom of the riverbed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway,
Can't even anchor.
No,
Wow.
you can't even anchor.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy.
pretty awesome though, because like anchors aren't great either, right?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, like think of it like I don't know. It's a huge
Yeah,
debate.
I know,
Never
yeah,
mind.
it's
It's way
massive.
too. It's way too.
Okay, who
That's
is
like
who?
4 podcasts in a row.
On the planet Earth? Who is Chloe Nostrand? And I've seen her stuff on Instagram. Who is she?
Yeah. So this whole thing came about because of Chloe Nostrand. It's the. Oh yeah. Thanks, Chloe.
Thanks, Chloe.
Chloe's a photographer. Someone that
Gav just spilled his beer, clapping last minute clap. Just sploosh.
I wanted to do a late clap, and I
You use that.
It was good.
Yeah, we I've seen her Instagram and then started reading some of her blogs and stuff. And then we just started commenting on her photos, and then one thing led to another. Slid into the DMs and was like, "Hey, we should go fishing one day." And she's like, "Hey, do you want to come out here?" And we're like, "Whoa, okay."
The stuff she posts is insane. Like she posts amazing content on our Instagram
does, yeah.
page, and like all of us are just like, wow, like where you fish.
And really great stories on her
Insane.
blog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing
she's just
stories.
really awesome, like she does it all. Like she's a photographer, she's a writer. She really embodied like the West.
Yeah,
Like, as
hunts,
a whole,
fishes.
Like, yeah, she's an avid hunter.
Mm-hmm.
You get into her house, the first thing you see is a snowboard, a camera tripod, and then 2 guns.
And fly rods, of course.
and a bunch of fly rods. So it's pretty cool. You're like, yeah, I'm in Montana. This is cool.
Yeah.
If you follow us, you probably already follow her on Instagram, but in case you don't, it's at Chloe Nostrant, CHLOENOSTRANT. Give her a follow because her content's insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, we're like, of course Montana's amazing, but it's like we look at this, we're like, well, Montana's insanely amazing.
And like traveling is cool, going to cool places, like but to get to hang out with someone from that place.
Mhm.
Like not just like hiring a guide, but really like spend 4 days.
Yeah, we
all
like
together.
stayed at her house. Thanks
Yeah,
again.
we stayed at her place and we hung out. We went to the Murrays, you know.
Yeah.
That's what's great about it. Yeah, you're not just like you feel almost inside, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we plane Tuesday. We're flying. We're about to touch. We connect in Chicago. Well,
Yeah.
got some pretty sweet pretzel dogs.
Pretzel dogs.
What's a
Chicago
pretzel dog?
Airport.
What the shit is a pretzel dog?
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm like, there's this little counter of food, and then I see pretzel dog, and I'm like, yes. So I ask for two because I was going to share with Aldo. So I got one for myself, one for Aldo, and I could have ate 4 of them and probably sweat butter for like 2 hours after.
Oh
that.
my god.
They were like so buttery and
Yeah.
it's not like
So-
it's not a hard pretzel. It's buttery and fat and
fat,
so
yeah.
good.
Is there any other ingredients in it, or is it just like a pretzel that's just battered in like?
It's a sausage
It's
rolled in pretzel batter.
Yeah, it's a hot dog
Sorry.
wrapped in a
Yeah,
pretzel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're about to get another plane. You're in Chicago.
Yeah, we're just
You
like
don't
a
want to talk about
layover.
pretzel dogs this whole time?
Yeah. I wanna
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
No,
about
wait.
pretzel
I am still talking pretzel dogs. You're about to get another plane.
Yeah, and I was hungry.
So you run into the airport. You go, okay, I got another flight coming up. What's
Yeah.
something I could shove down my gullet?
Yeah. And I
Oh,
found
how
that.
about a battered hot dog
Yeah,
Yeah,
before I get on this other plane?
yeah.
yeah. And all I thought all week
I don't know if that's a
was
great
on
idea.
our way back, I'm going to get
Welcome to
another
Amer-
one.
I got one thing to say to you guys. Welcome to America.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome. Yeah,
It's amazing.
pretzel pogo, really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stick.
Basically, it's a
Yeah. Pretty much.
Sounds good.
So yeah, we get we're on the second flight. There's a lot of space on this flight, so Gab and I are like have 2 seats, seats to ourselves, making friends with the flight attendants. They were great, and we're just like literally we have things are we're just about to land. We're looking out the window. We're going down into Bozeman,
Man.
looking out the window, and then all of a sudden the plane sharply pulls up. It's snowing, by the way. It's snowing,
Yeah.
right? And pulls up out of the landing, and we're like, what? And then the pilot comes on. He's like, the runway's too icy. We've got to divert to Billings, so the runway can be de-iced and be
Jesus.
safe. We're like, oh, crazy, because we were actually early. We're like, oh, no way. We're like early. This is like going really well.
Wow.
So we landed in Billings, and we just waited on the tarmac for about an hour, and then got shipped off to Bozeman. Olivia was there to pick us up, and we drove. Livingston's actually about half an hour drive south of Bozeman through a mountain pass, and yeah, we drove and met up with Chloe. She was at work.
Did you guys go to Bozeman? I may be skipping ahead here.
No.
but no Bozeman.
No, the
No.
airport's not actually in Bozeman. It's just outside of Bozeman.
Yeah,
So we just went straight from the airport to Livingston. We didn't go to Bozeman.
gotcha.
I've been to Bozeman. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're saying, we're meeting some people that are saying it's about a population of about 100,000, but they say in the next 5 years, because of some tech companies moving in, that population might quintuple.
Jesus.
Yeah. They're
What
thinking it
tech
might be like the
companies?
new Denver.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Denver's in Colorado.
Bozeman.
Yeah.
Because Bozeman's like.
It's hip. It's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like there's like craft breweries,
There's
beautiful
production houses there.
Yeah,
There's,
it's
yeah.
awesome.
Wow.
It's an awesome little
It's
town.
pretty vibrant.
Wow.
Yeah. Bought a whole bunch of bush.
Nice.
Yeah.
We get into the groceries. We're in Livingston, Montana.
Mm.
The first booze that Aldo and I grab is rosé.
Yeah, that's true.
That's great.
Talk about 2 city boy and like the most. The
Should we get a bottle of rosé for tonight?
country, not country, but like like
To have a
country
drink.
outdoor kind of
Hey, you
lifestyle.
guys had tacos that night,
We
right?
get rosé.
You ate
Rosé and tacos,
tacos.
bitch.
Yeah. Rosé
Yeah.
tacos.
And then a whole bunch of bush. Got crushed bush
Yeah, yeah,
outdoors.
Crush Bush Outdoors.
Yeah, I got to crush bush outdoors.
At Crush Bush Outdoors.
Yeah. Also a great account. Crush bush outdoors.
Wicked. Okay. So then, so what was let's go into the fishing a little bit here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Gab was saying, the main plan was to fish the Yellowstone. We had 3 days of fishing. We had 1 day booked on a private spring creek, and but for the rest of the time we were going to be on the different sections of the Yellowstone River.
And then they had a weird kind of fall, right? Like it came a little later, so the brown were still spawning. So we stayed away. Like Chloe was very not worried, but like say like let's not like
Yeah, for sure.
fish
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
for spawning brown, because like we're nice people. We don't do that.
Yeah.
So we focused on rainbows and cutthroat,
Yeah.
and then
You guys got cutties.
cutties.
Your first ones.
My
Yeah,
first one.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like I was mostly there to film and take photos. I
On
didn't
the
fish
Yellowstone?
that much, but then at some point I was like, "Aldo, give me your rod." And then 2 cast in, boom, cutthroat, right below a hot spring,
Nice.
falling into the river. It's just like, dude, like the scenery was insane.
Yeah.
It was like light snow, white peaks, and then plain kind of mountain, right by the highway behind us, and then catching cutthroat. Just literally probably like 15 minutes of a drive out of Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah,
Oh.
so we were driving further south from Livingston to towards a town called Gardner, and fishing sections around upstream from Gardner.
You know what's cool?
What?
I saw footage from your trip, and one of the clips is going into Yellowstone Park.
Oh, like
Yeah.
the gates? Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a big gate with a sign that says "For the benefit and enjoyment of the people."
Yeah,
It's so cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's a badass thing.
Wasn't that?
Or where
that
was
was for
that?
from Roosevelt, right?
Yeah, Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt.
Theo Roosevelt.
Because he's the one
There's a
that
bunch.
made all these parks, right?
Yeah,
So cool.
he
Yeah.
spearheaded.
Protecting.
He spearheaded a lot of the outdoor enjoyment of America, and the national park program. You can.
Well, thank God.
Yeah, I know. You can actually.
Well, no, thank him.
Hey, there's
Is there a
actually a really
telephone
good.
number?
There's actually a really actually a really good Ken Burns documentary about the national park program.
Oh, yeah?
Well, actually, just the West, and he covers a lot of that. And
Ken
John
Burns.
John Muir.
Yeah.
Trail in California.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's a really cool gate. And then I saw in that footage too, you guys next to the Yellowstone sign was an elk
yeah.
A whole herd of elk.
just
That was
hanging
a
out.
lot
Just
of
hanging out
elk.
there?
You know, like here
Wow.
and I always use that expression, but like you take a drive up to the Muskoka, you see like a couple deer, and you're like, "Whoa, cool!" Well, some people don't care, but I always get giddy about wildlife. But there, you drive and you see like 15, 20 elk just hanging out. You're like, "Holy shit!" It's like it's not a group; it's a horde. There's like literally a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And we saw mule deer and
Yeah.
white-tailed deer, and like
Oh wow.
Yeah.
it's like Gav was saying, you see one or two here, and you're like, whoa, because of our dense forest. But there, it's just everything's so open, right? So it's
Yeah.
just like you just see,
Yeah.
tons and tons of animals.
Yeah. It was pretty rad.
And we didn't see bison, but where we stopped outside Yellowstone, like our first day fishing, there was dungs like all over the place. That
Bison
was-
poop?
Yeah, bison poops everywhere.
It's crazy.
You're like, oh, we didn't see them, but they're here.
like
that's
deep in
cool.
the park.
The
Yeah.
highway has grilled on the highway
Yeah.
because they don't like it with their
With their
hooves?
What's it called?
Hoof?
Yeah, with their hoof.
Oh, so they make the road
Yeah,
bumpy so they can't walk on it?
they
So they
put
don't walk there.
they
They're
put grill on the
Yeah, like metal
slotted
slats.
grills. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Metal slats. Whoa.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the Browns, you're leaving the Browns alone.
Yeah, because they're on their reds, right? So,
And then, so you're catching cutthroat and a lot of whitefish.
oh my
A
God,
lot of white.
a lot of whitefish. Like basically every cast.
That's crazy. It's
Yeah.
good sizes too, right?
Yeah, and they're scrappy.
They're scrappy.
And actually, they're native, which
Mhm.
the cutties are native. The rainbows aren't. Neither are the browns. Technically, like decades.
They're
and decades
wild,
and
but they're
decades.
not native.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first day was just like it was like going to the Yellowstone. Like it was the furthest away we were going to be from Livingston on the whole trip. And then we went out for dinner and we were just like hanging out and checking out all the old cool bars at night. It was
Any
awesome.
iconic bars?
Well, we went to this really cool place
Yeah.
called Murray's, and Murray's had. Well, see, this is the thing about Montana. You asked earlier about like what makes Montana so special about fly fishing. We go to these places, and they're all amazing outdoors. Everywhere we went this year, even the places around here, or if you go out to BC, or if you go to Alberta or whatever, wherever the Gas Bay. But these places, this place just is fly fishing. Like there are, it's a town of 7,000 people. There's like 10 fly shops. Driving down the street in Chloe's neighborhood, like everybody's got drift boats in their parking lot. The bars have like fly fishing paraphernalia everywhere. And we ended up at this bar called Murray's. And Murray's had a wall called the Barfly Wall. So it's like the regulars, if you achieved like, mythical regular status, they'd take your picture and take your favorite fly and then frame you and put you on the wall. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so like this place lives and breathes fly fishing.
Fly fishing. Oh, wow.
Everyone's a guide or they work at a shop or they're a writer, they're an artist or something, and it's something has to do with fly fishing. And I think that's what, if anything, that's what makes Montana so special for fly fishing is because
Everybody.
It is
fly
so
fishes.
ingrained.
it's just
in
ingrained.
their
It's part of the culture.
Yeah.
It's part of the culture. It's like,
If you don't fly fish, you don't belong here.
yeah, well, like when people say let's go fishing,
Yeah.
it means fly fishing. It doesn't mean anything else.
Yeah, here you're like, oh, let's go fishing. You have to specify. Oh, by the way, we'll be fly fishing.
So no worms.
There, it's like, no, you don't need it because you got
Well,
flies.
I'm sure.
I would bring worms.
You got
I'm sure
worm flies.
somebody
I
uses
know,
worms.
I know.
Oh,
I mean,
there's
I was using
probably-
squirming
there's
worms.
probably some rabbit chuckers, like, but they're just not the majority.
The
There,
fly
right?
fishing culture is life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Murray's bar fly wall is really cool.
and like,
It's a really cool
It
idea.
was really cool.
Like all the different flies.
and yeah, you're at the bar, and basically, like, let's say like there's like 100 people, like 50 of those people are like fly fishing guides.
Lefty Cray's on the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lefty's up there.
I didn't even know Lefty cry.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is up there?
I don't know.
Just random.
We are not.
Murray
Ra-
bar.
We didn't make it. We didn't make the wall.
Chloe's
No.
goal in life is to be on that
Get
wall.
on that wall.
Yeah, yeah.
She'll
yeah.
get there.
She'll get there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. They've got like live music every night. So we actually ended up every night at the Murray.
What would
Yeah.
Chloe's barfly wall be? I guess you guys ask her Mitchie's Fishies 5, don't you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, and that's a little nuggaroo there for you folks listening at home or in your car on your way to work
Or the river.
or on the river perhaps.
Or at home.
This
doing homeworks.
podcast, this front half is our stuff, is us talking about Montana, but then in the last 30, Aldo and Gab did a little show with Chloe down there and they interview her. So the next 30 minutes are going to be with the actual Chloe Nostrant.
Yeah, we did
The
a
real one.
So Fly on location.
Wait. So I won't be a part of that conversation?
No, you will not.
No.
I don't
Guess
like
why?
Me neither.
Because you didn't come.
I won't be part of it, but I love it
this.
because I've listened to it already and it's really, really cool. So enjoy.
She's a rad dudettes.
So I guess we'll hear what her Mitchie's Fishies fly is later on. But
Yeah.
no, Murray sounds really cool. I want to go there. I actually followed them on Instagram.
Me too.
Yeah, same,
Sent that
same.
post.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool bar. Like Livingston in general is a really cool town. Like, it's a really cool place. Gardner was a really cool town too.
Something kind of interesting too.
Yeah.
Like when you think about Montana, you think like Republican. It's the Wild West, right? Like there's some more rural, so people are a little more conservative there. So Republicans are always kind of like pretty well represented in Montana. Our first night, it was election night in the States.
Mm.
It was
Right.
li-
Yeah, the
it was
midterms.
midterm election.
Yeah,
midterms, yeah.
yeah.
And we ended up kind of getting drunk at a Democrat
Yeah, just a little-
election party.
You guys got wasted at
And
with
a
the
Democrat or
Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
were like
Montana?
this guy was like I think he was for state
He was running for
senator?
state senator.
Yeah, and he
Oh,
was
cool.
they were having a party, and then we
He's running for
we
senator.
got to see
Yeah.
to a
State
Democrat
senator.
party
Yeah.
in Montana.
Fun. He lost, but the Democrats won the House, and he was like, "Drinks on me for the next hour." So guess what? I got wasted.
That's awesome. And that was in Gardner?
No, that
No,
was
that
in
was in Livingston.
Oh, right.
Gardner, the gate of Yellowstone.
Yeah,
that's
there.
where that's Gardner.
Gotcha.
So-
So
yeah.
it's like a small town.
Yeah, but apparently Chloe was saying that like it's like it's basically just a strip of hotels.
Yeah.
and a few homes, and she says the population goes like with tourists in this like it's a ton.
Yeah, because it's the
Of tourists.
entrance.
I was gonna
like,
say.
it's like the Montana entrance of the park, so you can only imagine. Like,
Oh, yeah.
What'd you say? The
Yellowstone.
Montana what?
the
entrance of the park.
of the park
Like,
in
yeah,
Montana.
tourists going to Yellowstone Park
yeah,
to
yeah,
go.
and then if there's an
hiking and
elk at
camping.
the entrance, which probably have every day,
And you can
people
camp
just go,
there, right?
like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Stop and
You
watch.
can fish there.
So beautiful.
Yellowstone's in 3 states. Isn't that cool?
It's
So
insane.
wait a sec. Okay, so
Idaho,
you got
Wyoming.
cutthroat and whitefish. Great.
Yeah, and rainbows.
Rainbows. What else is there? What else do you guys catch? Like what?
That's what we were catching because, like, again, the Browns were spawning. They were
Right.
late, so we were staying away from the Browns. Although they're legendary brown trout in the Yellowstone.
Right,
We should
right.
camp there when we go.
Yeah, we should definitely camp there. We should
Like
go.
in a little mountain.
Is it kind of funny where like we went to Livingston, Montana to fly fish, and we take pride in not have caught one brown.
Yeah.
Mm.
We didn't even try.
Literally, like we didn't even.
We saw them.
Well,
We saw them.
but
We
they were
saw them.
spawning.
You
So
know,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't fish for a fish, but you catch it by accident. We didn't even do that.
Yeah.
It was 0 brown.
We saw the reds and
We're very
everything. It was
proud
pretty
of
cool.
that.
It's cool watching them
Yeah.
nest, you know?
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Because the water is so clear.
right.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Yeah, and
It's clear because of the just the snow melting? Like what? Why is it so?
It's just clear because it's just clean.
just clean. Just
Yeah, it's clean, and it's a lot of mountains tribs feed
yeah,
that,
that's what I
that
thought.
river.
Yeah.
and-
So not a whole lot of vegetation.
Yeah.
At least in the Yellowstone, we the last day of fishing, we were on a spring creek.
yeah,
Mm.
and that was beyond clear.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was like glass. Like when you hear like, the water was gin clear. Like yeah,
That
Wow.
That was
that's what they
wild.
meant.
that's
Yeah,
what they
yeah.
meant. So in the spring creek, there's these awesome like lush like gardens of subaquatic vegetation.
It looks like fluorescent green.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it
was
looks like
super
Ninja
cool.
Turtle green at
Yeah.
the bottom
Stacked
of the
with
river.
fish, right?
It's
Oh,
it's
wow.
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Stacked with fish.
And then you walk in them because like you're trying to not like we don't walk on the nest, so you walk in the vegetation, and then you can see like thousands of scuds just like stick like when you walk. It's just like there's so much food,
Yeah.
Just healthy.
and
river.
and it's a creek. It's
Healthy
not a
little
big
creeks.
river.
Yeah.
It's a little creek,
Wow.
and it's just it was crazy.
Yeah,
So much food.
Chloe had arranged some time on a spring creek for us, which was pretty special. I've never fished a spring creek before, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we got more snow and frost, so everything looked like a crazy winter wonderland. It was
Yeah,
gorgeous. It was
The morning was sunny too, so
so
it was like
it was so calm.
icy and white, but the sun was shining. It was
You know, like that silence that snow brings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
Oh,
silent.
I love that.
And then all of a sudden, all these little mayflies started hatching.
Yeah,
It's crazy, right? It's like
snow everywhere.
snow
There's a
everywhere.
mayfly.
Yeah.
snow
then,
everywhere.
Yeah.
The water stays a consistent temperature because of the springs, and then all of a sudden there's flies coming off, and then we look down, and we're walking down the stream into some of the slower water.
Yeah.
Blue, I know. I was excited, Blue. I know. I
excited,
get
Blue.
it.
Come
I
on.
totally get it.
He never does this.
And
Yeah.
all of a sudden we just looked down the stream and just started seeing snouts, just like
Oh,
boom,
yeah?
boom, bing,
Start
rises,
rise, yeah.
tons of rises.
Yeah.
And like the double rises too, and that's why you know that they're a big fish. You see the head, and then you see the tail behind,
Right.
like sticking out. You're like,
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you guys
Fish
get any
on it?
big fish?
I broke off a lot of big fish.
Oh.
Got
I
nice
didn't-
bow.
I
You
didn't
guys were
hook-
using like 7X or something, right?
8x.
8X.
I didn't fish enough on the spring creek. I was filming, and we were trying
Got a nice
desperately to
bow.
get one fish.
Yeah.
So like
Oh yeah, I got a nice like,
it was a
little
beautiful
14,
bow. You know, it's
14,
not a huge
15.
fish, but because of the way you fish it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you break off. You see the fish they don't take. Even if it's a 12 inches fish, it means so much.
Yeah.
And you look at it, it's the colors are amazing. You know, it's wild. They
Right.
don't.
You guys are using your
they
5
don't
weights?
play.
Your 4 5s?
3-weight for
Three.
me.
Yeah.
3. Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
Probably should have had a bigger, maybe
Right.
my 4-weight with me. Would have been nice.
Yeah.
Would have been a better
Little
dry
bit of
fly
a sh-
rod.
Yeah.
Maybe a shorter rod.
Yeah, a dry fly rod would have been good. But I just wasn't expecting to fish dry flies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
cool.
And like the
That's
Spring Creek, it's on a beautiful property. There's like cows roaming, and they have little cabins by the Spring Creek.
Mm-hmm.
By the creek, they have cabin with a little fire in it if you're getting cold.
Nice.
Yeah, you can like warm yourself up, like
yeah.
you know, fish for an
Oh,
hour.
wow, that's
You
Yeah,
get
it's
in
so
there,
cool.
it's like a little wooden cabin, and then there's like Gray's journal in there. You can sit down and
You can have a
check
little,
out a little
The
magazine.
state is made for
Yeah, you get
for
it's,
this,
It's
eh?
so
Yeah.
cool. It's
everything
so
is
cool.
organized perfectly.
Nice.
It's nice. It was great.
It's very great.
But yeah, I mean, it was all in all.
Yeah.
I really want you guys. We got to go back.
Mm-hmm.
You have to experience Montana.
Well, we're going in July.
We're
End
going
of
in
the day.
July.
it was really cool.
July
Yeah, but you guys were
4th.
missed, you know, because like,
July 4th.
Yeah, I miss
bitches.
my boys. Miss
because
my
now,
friends.
Right.
like, Aldo and I, we keep talking about it. We're like, you know, we work at the shop together, and we're like, remember Montana? I'm like, how could I forget? I hate this place now.
July
I
4th,
just
right?
want to be
July
out
4th?
west.
You down?
July 4th,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it.
You down?
Why July 4th?
Independence Day.
Ah.
We'll set off fireworks on a drift boat.
Yeah.
So are we going to go on the
Start a massive forest fire.
This just in, SoFly.
Burns half of Montana down.
I'm on fire.
Not
His friggin' Canadians came over here and
Yeah,
burned down the place.
salmon fly hatch. The stoneflies.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Big stone flies.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, we can do
4
that.
inches long.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll make you eat one, Yilma.
I'll eat one. Protein, right?
Yeah.
Need it.
Right.
I need it because I work out. I don't know if you guys noticed.
Oh my god.
No,
Oh my god.
you're getting round now.
Well, that's it for this show, folks. God, it's a trip that I wish we were there for, but we'll be back in July. Let's pass it over to your show with Chloe now.
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, we on our last night there, we sat down with Chloe around her dining room table
Drink more beers,
and more rosé.
more rosé. That's right.
I talked a little bit about her life in Montana as a Montanan.
Montanan.
And she's got a sick story involving guns and rattlesnakes.
Ooh.
It's intense.
Well, here it is. Enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to SoFly on location. My name is Gab, and I'm with Aldo here,
Hello, everybody.
and Chloe.
Hey everyone.
Chloe, how's it going?
Great, how are you guys?
I'm doing really well, thank you very much. Chloe, we got to thank you so much for having us here at in Montana. We're at your house
Yeah.
here in Livingston, Montana, and it's pretty cool. We just spent 3 days fishing in and around Livingston on the Yellowstone. We just got off of Spring Creek.
That was your first time, right, on the Spring Creek?
Yeah, it was my first time on a Spring Creek, and it was pretty fun. Was it your first time on a Spring Creek, Gab?
It was definitely my first time on the Spring Creek as well.
Cool. So, Chloe, I think what we want to just do is just talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, and yeah, because this is going to go in our little year-end report.
Cool.
Cool.
Sounds great.
So, yeah, Chloe, are you you're from Livingston?
I was actually raised in Bozeman. I was born back east in Ohio, but I've lived in the Bozeman area since I was 11. So 13 years in Montana.
Cool.
This is my first year in Livingston, like full year round, not just season. So happy to be here.
That's wicked. And you work at George Anderson's Yellowstone Angler.
I do. Yeah, it's also my third season working there. Also my first one where I'm going to be year round.
Oh, that's cool. And you work at the shop, you guide.
Shop primarily. I would like to guide, but I want to make sure I'm doing it right, so I'm not in a hurry on that front, but it is a goal for sure.
And you're a licensed guide in Yellowstone Park, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's
yep.
cool.
So I can do trips in Yellowstone National Park, and I try to do some like women's trips down there.
And you're a photographer as well.
I am. That's what I went to school for when I went to school.
That's pretty rad. And you've been fly fishing for how long?
I started fly fishing when I was probably a junior in high school, like junior and senior in high school, so it's like 6 years. Something like that. I don't really know. Forget sometimes.
Yeah, cool. Okay. And so you moved here. You grew up in Ohio. You moved here. You've been here for 13 years. You're fly fishing. You're taking photos. What's your most favorite thing about Montana?
The people. It's
Yeah?
insane. Yeah. I really love the American West in general, and the people here are so shaped by the landscape. It's so unique. Like, we live in a place where you still have, cowboys on horseback and, leather workers and all these people, and it's a viable livelihood. There's a market for it here. It's so cool. So I love that. I love being able to go downtown and see all the fishing guides and all the cowboys sitting next to each other at the bar and have it be really authentic.
You also hunt, right? Like, you're a huntress.
Yeah. We got to eat some of my deer.
That was so good.
That was delicious.
Yeah.
Venison stew.
Yeah. Had a few meals with that, but I do hunt. I grew up upland bird hunting mostly from
Rad.
the time I was like 10 until like now. But I spent a lot of my childhood running around eastern Montana with a shotgun in my hand, chasing some bird dog in pursuit of pheasants, and maybe shooting more rattlesnakes than pheasants.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that rattlesnakes. I've read that rattlesnake story, but can you tell us a little bit more about that? 'Cause that's like pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, so a few years ago, my dad and I were pheasant hunting in northeastern Montana, north central, and we were kind of hunting opposite sides of this draw, and the dog was moving between us, doing its job, and we met up in the middle to kind of talk about what our next what our next move was. And I looked down to tie my shoe, and I was like standing on a rattlesnake. Basically, it was like right by my feet. He wasn't coiled. He wasn't like anything. But he just like slithered away, and I like, screamed and freaked out, whatever. I think that was like the first time I said the F word in front of like my parents.
Was he mad?
No, he was like, fair. Like that's fine.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, like that's a pass. But some birds flushed, and so we shot him. The dog went to retrieve him, and we kind of like moved forward a little bit to meet the dog halfway. And I just remember just being like, oh shit, and like looking around and hearing all these rattles and just looking, and it's like everywhere we looked there's a rattlesnake coiled, and like we thought that like it was like striking at the dog, they were striking at us, they were striking everywhere. Like we basically had like walked our way into a den of snakes that were like sunbathing because it was it was like pretty cold in the morning, so we didn't think it'd be a problem, but by the time the afternoon came it heated up a lot. And so my dad and I took turns like loading guns and shooting, and I was like pretty much carrying the dog and trying to like load guns and like hold guns and shoot guns and do all this stuff, and we're like shooting our way out of a den of rattlesnakes.
And
basically.
And the dog was okay?
Yeah, the dog was fine. We checked her out.
Okay too?
Yeah, we checked her out when we got to the truck. Our first clue should have been that the only gas station in the town had anti-venom in the fridge next to like the Coke, just in case. That should have been that should have been like the clue that like it was funny. It was like one fridge, and it had like anti-venom, cow vaccinations, Coke
at the gas station.
Yeah,
nice.
Just so you could like
cow vaccination.
Yeah,
at the gas station.
Get everything covered in one stop.
That's pretty crazy. We just don't have to deal with that stuff in Ontario. You know, we're waiting. We're walking through the woods. We're like, at most a bear.
Red ants. Like we deal with red ants, but
and that's it. That's like pretty much it. Like we're like so soft.
They're the worst though. I scream every time.
No, that's fair. I don't want to get bitten by red ants either.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
I think a red ants before a rattlesnake though.
Yeah, me too. At this point.
Okay, so what do we do? What do we do? We got into Bozeman. We were diverted to Billings because of a snowstorm. It was a crazy snowstorm.
Yeah, wicked.
Took a 2-hour nap.
Yeah, we were
Billings.
Yeah, exactly. We were diverted to Billings. We had to wait on the tarmac for about it ended up being about an hour and a half or so, because of a snowstorm that rolled in over Bozeman. And we finally got into Bozeman, and then we got here and went out into the town. And Livingston's such a beautiful town.
Yeah,
all these like old signs and really like preserved heritage, it seems. And maybe we had a few drinks that night.
Just a couple.
I don't remember.
That's the Murray for you.
The Murray, yeah, the Murray bar. That was our introduction to Bozeman, to Livingston. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was rad. And then we got up, and then we took a nice drive south to pretty close to the border,
the park border,
park border, the Yellowstone Park border.
We're pretty close to Gardner.
And then we were fishing for cutthroat and rainbows on the Yellowstone River.
Yeah.
Because the browns are
spawning.
Yeah, so you gotta stay away from the browns, right?
Yeah, everyone comes out here, and I hear it all summer. Clients come in, and they are like, we want to catch 24-inch brown. That's the trophy fish here.
Okay.
And so this time of year, the browns are on their reds, and they're spawning, and they're kind of, you just don't want to mess with them. Trout are kind of soft. Like the people are hard here, but the fish are soft. And so, I didn't want to put us in any position to be kind of messing with that process. And
definitely not.
So we went south and went where there's less browns and more cutthroat, which the cutthroat are native, the browns aren't. So it's kind of a more authentic Montana experience to catch them.
And Gab, what happened? Did you catch your first cutthroat that day?
I caught my first cutthroat ever, and it's such a beautiful fish. It was crazy. Yeah, I was filming. pretty much all day. Then I was like, although I'll grab the rod. And then 3 casts in, cutthroat. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I got it.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Then
That
we
was
went
it.
home. We spent the second day on the Yellowstone, caught some rainbows, a couple more cutthroats, lots of whitefish,
A lot of whitefish.
Yeah.
which are also native though, right?
They are. Yeah.
And they're spunky.
Yeah, they've got some power to them.
And some of them are
They
big,
are.
Yeah.
like huge. Like the one Olivia caught was big. That was a
yeah,
big fish.
I was
Yeah.
at least 18 inches. It's a big boy.
They have like a cute face too. Like they have like their little up nose.
Yeah,
a little bit
little,
kind of like Janet Jackson almost. They have the Janet Jackson.
Janet
I could
Jackson.
see that.
like the nose, yeah.
The duck lips.
Yeah, little lips. They're cute. They're cute.
Oh man! And then today we got up to sunshine, but a little bit of wind. But the wind seemed to taper off, and then we went to we got some McDonald's,
Obviously.
obviously, and then we went to the Spring Creek. I've never fished a Spring Creek before. That was really special. So thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah, of course.
That was really cool. So clear, you know.
Yeah, that term gin clear, I think can be applied there.
I think this is the first time when I realized I've fished some clear water before, but fuck, that was like,
Yeah.
and it was super technical.
Oh my God.
Do you
yeah.
like fishing like that?
I do. It's humbling. And it's a good way to kind of check in, I think, and make sure that you are in it for the right reasons. You can't go to the Spring Creek if you have a bad attitude,
Right, right.
you know.
What is your favorite way to fish? Like, what's your ideal Montana day?
I love, like, my ideal would be going down to the park, like Yellowstone National Park, like walking into the backcountry somewhere and fishing dries for the cutthroat.
Nice.
Like, that's insane. You're just back there by yourself, and every cast is a fish almost.
Whoa.
And to get them on the dry too, like, I'm liking dry fly fishing more and more as I become a better angler.
Okay, yeah,
It's
yeah.
a lot easier.
Yeah, we were at the border of, Chloe drove us into the gate of Yellowstone National Park, and we saw a whole bunch of elk, and we actually saw a buck, and Gab, you got a pretty good picture.
Yeah, no, those bucks. And what I have a hard time believing is how many there is.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not like you drive in Ontario, you see like 3 deer together. You're like, ooh, that's cool. Here it's like, oh wow, there's like 40 elk
Yeah.
in the field.
And then
That's
in that
insane.
field, there's 40 more. And then in that
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
there's...
The wildlife's insane. There's deer everywhere. There's
Yeah.
elk everywhere. The eagles are flying. We saw 3 bald eagles on our second day here on the Yellowstone, and today we saw, what was that, a red-tailed hawk?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was insane. Paw prints everywhere. Bison. It was like, what?
Yeah.
We saw 2 cows that we thought were moose.
Yeah. They were long-legged cows, okay?
Yeah, we didn't see any bison, but you can see that they're there because like you walk to the fishing spot and there's like dungs everywhere, and you're like, wow, like this is wild. Like there's like bisons, or they were wiped out.
And now they're back.
They are back. Yeah.
Chloe, do you see yourself living here in Livingston, like forever? Like
Oh,
this is
yeah.
what you want to do? Would you say photography is what you want to do more than fishing, or is it kind of equal?
I think it's equal.
Yeah.
I think I need to find the balance still. I mean, I just like got out of college, and so like I need to still work on balance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Livingston is where I'd want to be, and doing what I'm doing is what I want to do. So why change it?
Yeah, it's a hard place. It's a hard place to live. It would be a hard place to leave. Like you're surrounded by mountains and trout streams and
Yeah.
just epic wilderness. Like you think of the American West or even the American outdoors,
Yeah.
and you think of Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah.
Like that's such a unique slice of wildlife.
Oh yeah.
Wilderness. Yeah, that's what I meant.
As a kid, like growing up here, you definitely go through a phase where you're like, get me the fuck out of here. You're just like, every kid here is like,
I just want to go to LA.
yeah, seriously. Like, my younger brother's kind of like that, where he's like, I like it, I grew up here, whatever, but there's so much more going on in other places, which is true. If you aren't, an avid angler, skier, hunter, whatever, like, this would be a hard place to live. But I'm glad I grew out of that that phase.
We are
and,
too.
like, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Livingston's pretty artsy though.
It
Like-
is. It's incredibly artsy.
Yeah, like in terms of music and writing and whatnot.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's there's more art galleries in Livingston than there are in Bozeman, I'm pretty sure. And it's, way smaller. Every other person you talk to at the Murray is a writer. You're like, what do you do for work? And they're like, oh, I'm a writer. And you're like, wow, me too.
Of course you are.
Right.
It's true. Like we've been here for 4 days, and I've met like 5 writers,
Yeah.
and yeah, I've never met one before.
Yeah.
And then I come here to a town of like 7,000, and then
Right.
I met like 4 of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And everyone can paint, or everyone just tells really good stories. I think the landscape is very conducive to good storytelling.
Yeah, it's pretty inspiring. Mm-hmm. Let's see those big wide open spaces and so many colors, so many textures. Like especially because we got those dusting of snow, so it's like the white, the snow, the rocks, the grass, the golds, the blues, the purples in the skies.
Yeah, if you're creative and then you move here, you're just like, you have to like the outdoor, of course, but even if you don't, like you just come here and it's just resources everywhere, like for your brain. It's just like you look up, there's a mountain, you look down, there's a plane and a deer in it, and it's just like everything is just like make you want to be a creative. Like it's just yeah. If you're a photographer, I'm a photographer. It's pretty hard to take a bad photo,
Right?
here. Like
Yeah.
you can take a photo of a
yeah.
ditch,
And it's
gonna
so
look
cool.
amazing.
And that, that's a blessing and a curse, though, because then everyone is a photographer also.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Pretty rad. Okay, I think what we're gonna do now, because we're almost at 20 minutes, so we like to wrap up our little talks with something we call Mitchie's Fishies 5. Now, Mitchie is, of course, Mitch and Yilma aren't here, which is unfortunate, but I feel like we'll have to come back again with them because they're going to lose their minds. I know Mitch especially is like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Rainbows are his favorite fish.
Well, yeah, he's got to come then.
Yeah, rainbows are his favorite fish, and I know he'd love to be catching them in Montana. So I think we're going to go ahead and ask you. It's just 5 questions.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's exactly what we've been doing, just asking you questions. But it's like kind of like the same 5 questions we ask our guests.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Do you know all of them?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Okay.
Mitchie's Fishies is 1. Super easy. We'll start off.
Okay.
What's your favorite fish?
I would have to go with the Yellowstone cutthroat. I think part of it's the fish itself is beautiful and majestic, but the other part of it is the experience of catching it in the park.
Right.
Holds a lot of value too.
There's a lot of history there, right?
There is, yeah, it's crazy, and it's cool to think that you're fishing the same streams and not the same exact fish, obviously, but the same types of fish that Luce and Clark were, and all those guys, and like even like my grandparents and my great grandparents were fishing those streams too.
Oh,
So there's a
man.
lot of history in it.
That's awesome. And you're surrounded by one of the most iconic wildernesses in Americana. Which
Yeah.
is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's insane, and they're incredible fish.
And you're doing it on a volcano.
A little element of danger in there
Yeah.
to keep it exciting.
So cool, so cool. Mitchie's Fishies 2.
If you could be a fly, which one would you be?
The Bitch Creek.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, so there's a creek here called Bitch Creek. So
Gotcha.
that's
Okay.
but I think it's funny too. And it's better than saying like I don't know, like the butt monkey or whatever.
Woolly bugger.
Right,
Like-
woolly bugger. Like they're so like doing fly inventory. I was like, oh my God, I don't even like realize who names these. Like, what is wrong with these people?
The sex dungeon.
Yeah,
It's really just one guy. It's all Cully Gallop and his perverted name.
yeah.
Mitchie's Fishies 3. What is your favorite fishing memory? Favorite fishing memory. And it doesn't have to be catching fish or whatever, but favorite fishing memory.
Oh my gosh.
I know there's like
That's
there's
like
a
the
million.
big
I know it's really
question.
hard.
Let me think.
Mitch asks tough questions.
He does.
Yeah.
He's hitting. He's like, it's like hard hitting.
Yeah, it is.
Like-
It's like digging deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been from Anderson's up in Loch Sewell.
This year.
Yeah, this summer. Bunch of us girls went up to Loch Sewell and fished for muskie and pike
Oh my God, in Ontario?
in Ontario. I was in
Wow.
Canada. I almost didn't make it over the border, but I was there.
Why not?
I don't know. Border Patrol just didn't like me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chloe lives in Livingston, Montana, and her best fishing experience is in Ontario.
I'm just saying the best memory that I can think of right now without sitting down for hours.
Right.
Is
Would it be the whole week?
Yeah, and I think so. And I think just like it was so different from what I do. I mean, I went from casting like maybe 8 weights out here at the high, at the heaviest, to casting like 10, 11, 12 weights all week and musky flies that are like the size of a decent fish here.
Right.
And fishing on still water, which I don't do a lot, and fishing on boats with motors. That adds a lot to it because you gotta not get your line caught in the motor. Don't
that's
have
happened to me
worry
before.
about that here. We have oars.
Right.
But it was just so different, and it was so cool to be with those girls and meet them and spend time with them and just kind of see how the other side of fly fishing works. Big fish, small fish with a lot of teeth. Totally different. I mean, today we were using like 3-pound test fluorocarbon, and there we're using like 80 or 100 pound. So it's quite a world of a difference.
It's a huge difference. Yeah. Big predator fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely our first year doing that in a meaningful way too.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Isn't it? Did you think did you thought that taking those flies out of the mouth, it's kind of
Yeah.
a daunting experience
Right?
at first? Right?
Yeah, and I like trout set on the first pike, and that was one of those things where Olivia's like, "You trout set," and I was like, "I did. Let me just sit here and like process."
Sort through my...
Yeah,
Yeah, no, definitely trout set
get
on a
trout
few
out of
pike.
my mind for
Yeah.
a second. But I mean, there's so many great fishing stories out here, like fishing in the park and seeing bears or bison, whatever. So it's hard to pick one.
That was Mitchie's Fishies 3. Mitchie's Fishies 4.
Mitchie's Fishies 4. Jeez, I forgot.
I just make one up. That's all Mitch does anyway.
Yeah. Who is your best fishing partner?
Ooh.
That's
I
my
like
God.
that.
Right?
I feel like I'm gonna like put people on the spot. Sorry, everyone. Jeez.
You don't have to say who you don't like to fish with. You just have to say the one that you prefer fishing with.
I've got some really great friends that I fish with. I love fishing with some of my friends that are really new to fly fishing and taking them out. And this summer I took one of my really good friends out, and she, in the beginning it was like, great, like I'll stand with you and we'll kind of go over it and figure it out together. And then by the end of the day, she's like landing her own fish. She's like taking the net and just was like, whatever, it's mine. Like,
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll do it
I
all
think I
myself.
actually remember that from your Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I love fishing with her, like that's my friend Casey. I love fishing with her, and that's always fun. I love fishing with people who have like a really deep respect and like love the outdoors and love when you're like, hey, like we need to not, walk across this or not do that. Like, people who have that like background and respect, I really like fishing with.
Respecting the resources, right?
Exactly, yeah. And my friend Ben, who I work with at the shop now, he's really good about that too, and we've been friends for a super long time, so he's fun to fish with always. And as long as we don't like yell and scare the fish away somehow or make other anglers upset, we're good to fish together.
Nice. I like that question, Gab. That's good. That was a good one.
that was
That was a
good.
good one.
That's right.
Okay, Mitchie's Fishies 5, and I do remember this one.
Okay.
This is a big one. This is a big one.
Oh,
And,
God.
yeah. Why do you fly fish? Like, why fly fish at all? I know it's like I know, but
No, it's fine.
but it's hard hitting shit. It's
That-
Mitchie's Fishy's 5, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's 5.
Like, why fly fish at all?
Yeah. Well, I first was like, I should do that because I lived in Montana. And was like, everyone does it. All the cool kids are doing it, you know? Maybe I should try it. And it kind of happened in my life at a point where it like needed to because my parents were getting divorced. I was like in high school and like you have no idea what's going on when you're in high school to begin with, you know? And so it's really nice to have that like, to have something to kind of come into my life at that point and have something else to focus on.
Yeah.
And it was like a kind of slow start, I guess, you know, and then just as I did it more and it became a huge part of my life and family just stuck and I kept doing it and it became like a constant.
On that note, do other members of your family, are they fly anglers as well?
Yeah, so, you know, my like grandparents, my grandpa was, my great grandpa was, when they lived in Bozeman, they were, and you know, a lot, like my dad's side of the family had a lot that were fly anglers. My dad's more of a hunter, like an upland bird hunter. But then on, like, you know, the mom's part, my stepdad is a huge fly fisherman. He is James, so he from the Yellowstone Angler, so obviously him and George are big fly anglers. And then my mom is a big fly fisherman too, so
Oh, so cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
So it's fun. It's definitely a family thing.
Cool. Well, that's pretty much it from our little mini interview, our SoFly on location. Chloe, how can people... Well, we'll spill some water there. Chloe is a very talented photographer, also angler, and, you know, passionate outdoors enthusiast. But Chloe, how can people find your work?
I have a website. It's just chloenostrantphotography.com. And also on Instagram, Chloe Nostrant. Pretty, yeah.
Awesome. And you can find your writing, your photography, and whatnot. And you do gear reviews as well and so
I
for some
do,
publications,
Yep.
yeah?
And yeah, we're like wrapping up our 4-weight shootout at the shop. So
Oh, what's that?
that's where we take all, well, right now it's 4 weights. So we're taking all 4-weight rods. We have like 27 of them.
Fuck.
And we're,
That's really cool.
Yeah, we're testing them and seeing, kind of ranking them to see how they fare and test them against themselves. And we, you know, we're testing swing weights and deflections and casting at different distances. So, and then we write them up and post them on the Yellowstone Angler website. And you can kind of see how rods compare to each other.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say that you have a favorite so far?
You'll have to read the shootout.
Oh, okay.
I like that. I
Yeah.
will.
Well, fuck, Chloe, thank you so much for having us at your house, taking us out on the river. I mean, I've been in Montana before, Gab has, and
It was incredible. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much
This
for
is
coming.
definitely an experience that I will never forget. And
Yeah.
we talk about it with kids one day.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not going to have kids, but I'll talk to your kids about it.
I might. Who knows?
Okay, well, that's it for SoFly on location. This is Aldo signing off.
Gab, hey, see you guys later.
And Chloe?
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.